3, 2, 1, bro.
Didn't you wear Panda Watch?
That's a rewind backward.
Oh.
That's what I did.
Was it Didn't you wear?
Is it rip? I don't know. You do that game and This Game is Broken. You can subscribe to Now This Game is Broken and also listen to the podcast.
It's called Not a Palindrome. It's great.
This is
Nick thought of it.
he did. This is the board game rewind. See, Dice Tower, you know why they're smart? They say decade in review, but we always just try to brand something. People don't know what it means, but we're doing a rewind on the decade, meaning we're rolling it back and looking at different games from different years.
Rewind is if we ever want to do something other than just this specific series, we could just do it under the name Board Game Rewind.
Rip. That's what we're future-proofing over here. So anyway, we are the Brothers Murph, and we are taking a look at 2016, a game where a year where no games happened.
Nothing. Not like just bangers on bangers. This might have been the best year of the decade. It might have been the best year of the decade. Think of
per BGG's rankings, it was.
Think of there are 2 to 3 games that came out this year that have been freaking. I mean, probably 2 of the biggest games of the decade came out this year.
Yes, arguably the.
Yeah.
We had to say no to a lot of really fantastic games because in our best of the decade top 10, we could only choose one game each. And we had to turn down a lot of stuff, which is part of why we wanted to do this series to talk about. So for me, my pick was my favorite game of all time, A Feast for Odin.
Easy pick for mine.
I can't lie to you people and say it's some other game for convenience because A Feast for Odin is in 2016. I would get immediate flack back.
Yeah, that's true.
Flack black on the clap
Flack
back.
black on the clap black.
All right.
You get clap back on that flat back.
You know what I'm saying? So what was your pick of 2016?
Mine was Great Western Trail, which is still climbing the ranks for me. I love it so much. And
quality game.
As much as I wanted to choose other stuff, I couldn't. I was just like, there are certain games on there that, like, again, you'll see, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, how is this not? But like, if I really look in my heart, Great Western Trail's up there. Great Western Trail is top 10 for me, I think, at this point.
Especially with that expansion, though.
With the expansion particularly,
so good.
Great.
So we had to say no to a lot of high quality games.
Get ready for some hate in the comments,
First of all, probably the biggest game of the decade, Terraforming Mars. One of them, certainly.
I would say it's probably been the most popular game of the decade.
On more tables and conventions than anything else, still by far.
I would say Terraforming Mars, if I had to guess what was the most popular game, not in terms of like sales, but in terms of like people liking it, it's just Terraforming Mars. If you think it's a bigger one of the decade, put it down in the comments. I think Terraforming Mars has been the biggest game of the decade.
Top 3 or 5, no question.
Yeah.
Top 2, really.
Another game that also I think could rival this one in terms of that is Scythe. Scythe came out this year. I think these are the two of the biggest games of the decade. Yeah. Massive games, huge hits.
Super
came
fun.
out this year. Scythe, we love it. It's great. Love Terraforming Mars. Love them both. Yeah, just
fantastic
so
games
good.
in our collection right over there. Another one that's in our collection that we love.
This one hurt me.
This one hurt Nick bad, but he had to be honest with himself. The Networks.
The Networks.
You said no to the Networks?
I said no to the Networks.
For Great Western Trail with that cover?
Yeah, seriously.
This
That's how you know how much I like Great Western Trail as a game, because I hate that cover more than anything, and I love the Networks, and it didn't quite get there. The Networks is incredible. Now they have Networks Rivals coming out, the 2-player version. I'm very excited about it. The Networks is outstanding. You're running a TV station. It's so
fun,
good.
art and parody of TV, and with interesting mechanics and stuff to boot. A game I had to say no to a former number 1. I'd say no to Clank.
Yeah.
Clank came out and I said, piss off. You're not being chosen.
Off.
Great game. Love that game. We have it. I want to get Clank Legacy.
Just played it the other day. It's great.
Yeah, Clank is so fun.
Yeah, it's really good. Mechs vs. Minions came out this year, and this is a game that, like, I feel like not necessarily has like dropped off the planet, but like, I remember when this game came out. I remember the few days where it came out. It was a phenomenon because no one had heard about it, no one knew it was happening, and then all of a sudden, every reviewer waited until this day to do a review about it.
Right.
And I remember people trying to get their copies. It was like crashing the website, and knowing it was just it was
a whole
insanity.
A big coup of a situation. It's cool, man. And
it's a fun co-op programming game.
Let's
but
just make
man,
a huge
it
game
was
and not charge a bunch for it.
It was bananas.
It was awesome.
Pandemic, Iberia,
My
and
favorite Pandemic, I think now.
Reign of Cthulhu both came out this year.
Yeah, Reign of Cthulhu. I haven't played. You've played. You said it was actually a good implementation.
Yeah, it's fine.
Does it feel Cthulhu-y?
No, I mean, most Cthulhu games don't feel that Cthulhu. It feels fine. Here's the thing. It's like of the new pandemics that have come out, Iberia, Rising Tide, Fall of Rome, and this one. Oh, you haven't played Rising Tides, but this one's my least favorite, Reign of Cthulhu. But I still like it a lot. Iberia is my favorite of the new ones for sure.
Yeah, I really like it a lot.
Yeah,
really like it. I
Planet
want to try the
Iberia is
Rising Tides.
Really, really fun. I really want to try Rising Tides as well.
Another one we've played one time is Yokohama.
Really want to play it again.
Really want to play it again. It was cool. You have to like move your workers, or like there's these different tiles set out which are like location or action spaces, and you can move a certain distance, and you're doing a bunch of stuff, and it was just a big game of discovery. So I'd like to play it again and see if I could actually try to do something like strategically.
It's a game that like I had no idea what I was doing or what was going on, and
good.
so I want to play it again. Although now I've probably just forgotten again, but I want to try it again because it was very fun. Yokohama.
An area control drafting game I played recently is Inish. Which is cool because it's a drafting game where there's only like 13 cards or something like that all total. So there's a high level of familiarity, but that becomes the whole. Everyone knows all the cards and they know who has what. As things are moving around, and so it becomes very strategic in how you use those cards to get this area control. And I did decently, but kind of got beat out. But I heard it's
got a really big learning curve, but a really good art though.
There's only so many cards, so once you learn it, you're set.
True. Santorini came out this year. This was a big game based off of just how cheap it was. A 2-player, or I guess it could be more, abstract strategy game that is gorgeous. This was kind of the start, not completely the start, but this is like one of the starting games that like really pretty abstract strategy games that like Azul and all the and like Sagrada, all these other ones kind of came out that kind of added on this. Dragon Castle added onto that. But
this was one that you showed me kind of earlier in our career of gaming, and I was just like, whoa, like it's like a 3D thing, it's building up. Like it was so cool to see.
And then it's so simple.
It's super simple.
It's the most simple game.
Move and build something.
And it's just so tactical, really, really good.
Very cool game.
Abstract strategy game with Santorini. Really great art, cool presence, super simple. It's great.
Yeah. A game like Santorini, you should only play a 2-player. This next game, Captain Sonar, you should only play an 8-player.
Oh, I was like,
Captain
2-player,
Sonar is an awesome idea of a game. This is one that when I first played, it was at a convention. I was like, immediately, we got to buy it. We should buy it right now.
Yeah.
Let's go to Target. Let's go buy it.
Luckily, we couldn't find it anywhere.
Luckily, we couldn't find it anywhere because I was like, no, you shouldn't go buy it. But you should play it at conventions. It's a perfect convention game. We can get a 4-on-4, 8-person game with these dividers, and you are 2 submarines. So it's kind of taking it's Battleship if you were inside the battleships.
Yeah, it's
and
Battleship
you're sneaking
cranked
around
up to 12. I mean, it is bananas.
And the cool thing is every member that's playing has a different role. So you have the captain who's calling out directions. And you're just calling north, east, north, south, whatever it is, and you're just moving around. And then you have like a radio controller person who's listening to the captain on the other team calling out those things and trying to make lines on like a little overhead sheet, which is a dated thing to say, and trying to find out where this person can be. So you're trying to track down the other people by like moving this thing, and then there's people that are fixing the ship that's constantly breaking and readying weapons and things like that. It's just a cool.
Very cool concept, very fun game, but you need 8 people. You can give out 6, but you need 8.
So fun. Everyone has their own little role and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's great.
Super awesome.
We got Sushi Go Party, which is not even, I was going to say sequel to Sushi Go. No, it's just like, it's essentially just an expansion that's also a full game of Sushi Go, a great little sushi drafting game. This is better, get this, because they're both incredibly cheap, and there's just more different kinds of cards.
I love it. I just played it again the other day, and I love it.
Yeah, Hero Realms came out this year.
Yeah.
Our preferred version versus Hero Realms or Star Realms. Great deck builder where you get right into the middle of the game right away.
Just start beating up dudes right away. It's super duper fun, especially with the character packs that came out later.
Yeah.
A 2-player drafting game called Tides of Madness, which is kind of a sequel or different version of like Tides of Time.
Yeah.
Tides of Madness, it does a Cthulhu theme on it.
And adds the madness.
Madness. So you're drafting these cards back and forth, 5 cards in a round, and it's just kind of set collection, suit majority. Each card will be of a certain suit and also present a certain type of scoring opportunity, usually not related to the suit that it is.
Generally
so you're trying to like get the right cards by drafting, but certain cards will also give you madness, and if at any point you have 9 madness, you just instantly lose. So you're trying to manage
the madness cards tend to be
madness.
better too.
They're definitely more powerful.
Yeah.
So you're trying to manage your madness and stuff, and it can be advantageous to get a little bit of madness, because if I were to beat you and I got more madness one round, I can get 4 bonus points. Stuff like that. So it's just an interesting little twist to the game.
It's very cool. And as a 2-player drafting game, that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
But I like it because you're never out, because like if I'm just losing in points and I'm like, okay, I'm never drafting a madness card again.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to try and make Mike go insane.
That way
and it's very, very fun. Little 2-player game with outstanding art for being a very small little micro game. Role Player came out this year. That's a great game. Thunderworks game where you
crazy
are.
that's that
I think
old.
it's the nerdiest game of them all because this is a game where you are rolling out a D&D character and that's it. You don't even play D&D. You're just rolling out a character and that's it. It's the most meta nerdy game ever and I love it. Great art, big chunky dice, very fun.
Just cool little puzzle.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. We got King Domino, fun little domino intro level. You can teach and play it in 15 minutes. Fantastic. Manhattan Project, Energy Empire.
Energy Empire came out this year.
It's the one that we've actually played. Yeah.
We've never played Manhattan Project, but we've heard from many people. A lot of people like this one better. Some people like the original better, but we like this one a lot.
Cool.
It's not great at 2-player, and so we had played it that way. And the first time we played it, we like loved it, and then like we played it a couple more times. We were kind of disappointed by it, and we kept being like, I think we just need to play it not at 2, not at 2, not at 2.
Yeah.
And we finally played it not at 2. And
It's great.
Yeah, so we were right in that sense. But it's a great game.
Yeah. Another game that existed but kind of became its proper final form is Evolution. Got the climate expansion, reworking,
Climate.
whatever it is. So now Evolution Climate exists. And Evolution Climate is absolutely essential. Wouldn't want to play it without Climate because it's Evolution, all the simplicity of Evolution with just the added little bit of like, sometimes it's a little warmer, so there's just more food happens to be available, but it might get too hot, so you have to start having further adaptations to protect yourself against the heat or the cold, and there might be little events that trigger, and like that's just enough to take a nice simple game. It doesn't overly complicate it, but gives you a little more interest and intrigue and deepens the theme even more.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is super cool.
And more of that great art.
Oh, that's great.
Which is just hard to beat. We have Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, which is a good deck building game that I think, and we both think, is such a good thing for the hobby because people are going to buy it because it's Harry Potter.
Yes.
And it's got pictures of Hermione and Ron and all that in it.
From the movies and everything you want.
This is a game that step by step teaches you deck building. It's a deck builder, and you're playing through the different books. First book is crazy simple. If you're a gamer, it's too simple.
Yes.
Like honestly, it's way too simple. But it
win.
teaches people that it's easy and simple, but it teaches people deck building. And then the next book, you add a little bit more. And you add a little bit more.
And
it's
it's
like
more difficult villains.
yeah,
and
and it's like, man, if you had never played modern board games before and you picked up this because of the
perfect
theme,
game for this.
it is the perfect game because
it's a campaign
Yes.
that increases the difficulty and adds mechanics in a way that's easy to digest. Like by the end, you have like player powers and stuff like that, and you're doing these things. You can trade cards and all sorts of crazy stuff that you can't do at the beginning.
Yeah.
And so it's a game that we kind of played through and then ended up getting rid of, but it's perfect for folks who are looking to get into the hobby. That's a game that can
get people into the hobby, unlike any other.
So
because
cool.
it holds your hand the whole way and it's great.
Absolutely. Another game that's brilliant, beautiful, has the best player aid in the business is Quadropolis. I thought this was older, which is like 4 years old. It's not new anymore, but Quadropolis is a fantastic city building game, tile laying game. It just goes down smooth. I can't even say like why it's so great. It's just
a city building game, but city building games a lot of times have like a lot of upkeep or a lot of things to keep track of. And this one is on the simpler side, and it just freaking works. It's also got a very interesting drafting mechanism in the way you draft tiles because you have these architects. The architects have 1 through 4 printed on them, and there's a main board where you have tiles, and so you put this architect, which is
4x4 or a 5x5 grid thing that shows you what's available.
And you put it around the perimeter of that, and whatever way it's pointing to, if you put down the 3, you go 3 in, and you grab that tile. And then you have your player board, your city, where you put it. But if you use a 3, that means you can only put that tile in the 3rd row or the 3rd column. And so it's very simple, but you're having to like think ahead, like, okay, I want to put one here, so I have to, this is in the 2nd row, 1st column. So I either have to grab it with a 2 or a 1 so I can make sure to put it where I need it. So they have to look around the board.
It adds a nice little puzzle.
Where can I do it? And it's adds a little puzzle, but doesn't really complicate it too much. And it's such a good city building game. And it's gorgeous. It's Days of Wonder. They crush it. One of the best inserts in the game. It's so good. It's so good.
So good. Another one that we've played 2 games, an annual game of now is Millennium Blades, which recreates the idea of being a Magic the Gathering or any collectible card game player. So it starts you off where you play like a little tournament with like a couple booster packs of cards, and then you can go into a virtual shop where you can buy cards, you can trade cards, you can just buy booster packs and hope you get lucky, and and then you play a couple more tournaments. So there's these real-time rounds of spending money in the game to you can try to buy your way to victory, and then seeing basically what you bought and what you traded. Did you build something good?
Yeah.
And then you play tournaments. It's just an interesting meta game.
And there's so much content for this game. It is a weird game. That is
weird,
awesome
but it's
and
very
it works.
cool.
And we don't have it because I just don't think we'd ever played. Here's the thing. If this game, and there might be one out there, put it in the comments if there is one at this point. But if this game had a really good solo version, I think this is a game that I could get into solo because it's big and crunchy and hard. And I think if there was a way to do it solo, I think I might then pull the trigger on it if I found it somewhere and it wasn't too expensive.
Yeah.
But it's very cool.
Yeah, Millennium Blades is just an interesting experience.
Yeah, it really is.
Shouts out to Slivers for running games for us because it's the only way we know
Shouts
how
out to
to play it.
Slivers. One of the best games of the entire year, every single year, is that game, Millennium Blades. Mystic Vale came out. This was John D. Clare and AEG's way to introduce people into the card crafting system.
Kind of like a proof of concept.
Yeah, where you have these big tarot card transparent sleeves, and you have a basic card in there, and you can add things into that transparent sleeve. They're little
cards.
transparent cards,
Power
and you're
them up,
essentially
sort of.
making those cards better, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
And so you have this, it's like a deck builder, but your deck never gets bigger because you're only adding things to pre-existing cards.
Yeah.
Very cool idea. Ultimately, I like Mystic Vale a lot, but we ended up getting rid of it eventually because it was just we kind of played it enough, and
it's pretty light. Ultimately.
It is pretty
There's
light.
a lot of expansions and stuff like that, and I got the app for it, so I'm like, I'm good with the app. I can just play games quickly.
But really cool system. John D. Clare crushes it, and Mystic Vale is very, very good.
Absolutely. Just a couple more really quickly. Junk Art's a fun dexterity game. It's basically a bunch of mini games in one. So you can choose kind of like what the stipulations are. Sometimes you're trying to build high. Sometimes you're trying to build quickly. Trying to build carefully. It's just like
sometimes you're building one
game.
piece and then you have to switch. And you build
all
one piece
sorts
there.
of mini
It's
games.
super weird. It tends to be a little expensive, which is why I think we haven't picked it up.
But
it's
a lot of wood bits and things. You can get
really,
the classic version too for cheaper.
Yeah, a really great game. Cry Havoc came out this year. This is a really good game. Cry Havoc is a great area control game. Very asymmetric. Everyone has asymmetric factions that all are good at different stuff. All get points different ways.
Certain ones are more aggressive. Certain ones are more kind of like trying to farm resources.
Great game. The reason
Really interesting.
why we didn't actually keep it was because you really want 3 or 4 players. You really want 4 if you can get it. Because you want all the factions in the game.
If you want 3 or 4 players, and I want 1 or 2 more rounds.
It's here's the thing.
Very fast.
It's great that it's fast, but it is
fast.
Too fast.
I
You
want to
need
get into it.
one more round. Because like right when you start getting stuff going,
ends.
it ends every single time. Which
Maybe
is cool
it's-
because it's quick. It's 45 minutes.
Yeah,
but
and
it's
I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that they play tested it, and it really should be the rounds that
Yeah,
it is. But
probably.
it's wild how fast it is. I'm
yeah,
like, oh,
but really good game, Cry Havoc. One that I would love
See
to
the
have
player
gotten
count.
played more.
Good con game, which we're always gonna
Yeah.
play it at a con.
Ooh, Kanagawa.
Kanagawa, man.
Game's flying under the
Beautiful
radar.
Zen game. You're learning in a
paintings,
studio,
yeah.
and you're making landscapes basically.
Yeah,
really
landscape
beautiful
painting,
game by
really
Yellow.
pretty
Definitely check it out. There's a
Cool
new,
drafting system. Yeah, simple.
Cool drafting system. There's a new expansion for it too.
Yeah,
so.
great art. Bruno Catala, it's great.
Yeah.
The others came out this year. This was
Painfully
a big
underplayed game by us.
Yeah, painfully underplayed. It's
We'll
the
do it.
one versus all game that we've actually kept. We got rid of pretty much all of them in the culls that we've done because we just never play one versus all games. But we're like, let's
Another
keep,
one
we're
came
like,
out this year. We'll talk about in a second.
Yeah, exactly.
Conan.
And we were
Conan
like,
came out, got
Conan
it.
came out this year. Yeah, and we were like, let's keep one.
Yeah.
Let's keep one, and we kept the others. One, because we have a lot of content for it.
Yes, we
Two, we really legitimately like the game, just never ever get to play it because we don't have the player count. We're like, you know what? Let's keep one for the few times a year we have a chance to play it. And so we kept the others.
So wait on one of those years.
And honestly, for Kickstarters, in terms of like stretch goals, what you got in the Kickstarter, there's never been a deal as good as the others. It's insane the amount of stuff you got for that base pledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite a bit. Last one's a small little area
good.
control game called World's Fair
Probably my favorite area
1893.
control game. I think it is, right?
I think it is, and it's just a cool game where you're putting cubes out to try to influence different areas that the World's Fair had kind of exhibits for and stuff, and agriculture and electricity and things like that. And it's just beautiful in its simplicity, and it's quick and light and satisfying because all the cards have like little bits of history from that World's Fair.
Which you'll never read because the game goes really fast.
But it's just a good game.
It's
man.
a good.
It's
It's a
solid game
that went super under the radar. Play
Yeah.
World's Fair. It's great. It scales really well. It's amazing.
Yep.
So that was kind of the games that we really love. We're gonna go into some games, other games that we've played and like, or games that we know are big but haven't played yet. And these we're gonna kind of go through quick because there's still 20 on
games?
here. And so, Star Wars Rebellion.
Huge
Sorry, we haven't
game.
played it. Want to play it. Haven't played it.
Huge game. Arkham Horror, the card game.
Huge. Now there's Marvel
the-
Champions, which is like the next iteration of that system. Before that, it was Lord of the Rings, the card game. Crazy. Manchester Madness Second Edition. Talk about
where-
Fantasy Flight making new versions of the same game.
Yeah, but this one really, with that app integration, really took this and made it what it is. Like,
And now
Manchester
there's
Madness
Lord of the
is-
Rings Journeys of Middle
Right,
Earth, which is
built
the
off the same
next
system.
one based off of this same system, which is the one we prefer.
Aeon's End got its start this year. No, it's Aeon's End Legacy.
It feels
and
like that
billion
game
other
has
things.
been out for a lot longer.
I know.
I think it's because it
They've done
has
a
so
lot
much content
in a short period of
Yeah,
time.
Aeon's End, great little co-op deck builder. Good game.
Secret
Good game.
Hitler came out. A lot of people's like party game they can't get enough
It's their
of.
go-to social deduction game.
Yep.
Lorenzo Il Magnifico. This is a game that we talked about before on our BGG Top 10. I want to play again because I didn't like it as much as I feel like I should have. And so...
We just need, I think we each need one more play to really let it all sink in before we can determine
because I wasn't a huge fan, and I'm like, I feel like I should have liked it more. So I want to play that one again.
Codenames Pictures came out.
Good
a
game.
fun version because I thought at first it's gonna be just a bird, and you're like, who cares? But it's like, no, it's kind of Dixity where all the pictures are a little bit weird, so it makes it. Like I'm kind of Codenames Duet purist.
I like
if
the
I was going to get
words.
one of the things, I would get the pictures.
Yeah.
Because it's abstract and odd, so it makes it still difficult
Yeah.
to give the clues and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
see,
really
I
fun.
I think it makes it too difficult personally.
It can be really hard,
so I like the words because I think it's
Yeah.
still very difficult but easier. But Codenames Pictures, Tires in the Underdark. Gosh, I didn't know this came out this year.
Cool deck
This
builder,
is-
like area control game.
Yeah, deck builder area control game set
Really
in
cool.
the Drizzt universe in the Underdark. Really cool game that again kind of went like way under the radar. Very cool area control deck builder game. That's kind of got a weird look, but ultimately is a very
Really cool
very
game.
good game.
I played
Underrated.
Flamme Rouge.
Flamme Rouge.
Flamme Rouge, a racing game.
You liked this one, right?
I did. I really liked
Yeah.
it. So it's just an interesting bike racing game, and it uses kind of like the draft, like in a real race, you're trying to draft and trying to get better airstreams, and so it uses those things in an interesting way. It's kind of cool the way you're playing out cards. And you have two of your racers. One's kind of the mule, just sort of like goes up the hills, and then you have like your sprinter. And so it's just a fun, cool little game. And
Yeah,
I was happy
really
I finally
cool.
got to play it. I would love to play it again.
Imhotep came out this year, which is a Phil Walker Harding Praise B game.
Praise B.
It's one of the only games of his that we don't really like that much. I want to try it one more time, but
Same.
like we've played Imhotep the Duel, which is like the 2-player version that came out this year. Really like that one though.
The Colonists, which we just recently learned about, is apparently like the
try it.
longest game on the planet, but like really fun.
Yeah,
so,
big game.
I don't know.
Clemens Franz art looks
You know.
cool. Want to try it once, but it's like 6 hours. It's like 2 hours per player, so I'm like, that's very long. Conan came out. We talked about earlier.
Yeah.
That was a
Another one versus all.
another one versus all massive Kickstarter. Cool mechanics. Just wasn't really a game for us. Then the Batman version came out. We also didn't back that, and I'm still just like,
rather get that,
still
but yeah, I don't need that.
still just not the game for us.
You
but
played
ultimately
Black
good.
Orchestra.
I did play Black Orchestra. I played it at Dice Tower Con last
Seems like a
year.
more appropriate Hitler game.
Yeah, it's one where you're actually trying to kill Hitler, and you're working towards that. It's a co-op game. It's very difficult. Honestly, I don't remember much in terms of the
You
mechanics.
won, but it came down to the last
We
second.
won.
which
It
is
came down
thematic.
to the last dice roll of the game.
So cool.
And it was very, very satisfying. It was very cool. But Black Orchestra is very fun co-op game.
Vast the Crystal Caverns, which was sort of the predecessor to Roots eventually. A super asymmetrical game came out. Haven't played it, would love to. One deck
Would like to try.
dungeon. I've
Yeah.
always heard about and I don't know much about, other than there's probably one deck in a dungeon.
Probably. Adrenaline came out this year. Kind of
like replicates a first-person
shooter. Yeah,
Apparently does it
from-
very well.
Apparently it's very fun.
Really
I've always
wanna
heard
try
very good things about Adrenaline. Really want to try it. Haven't had a chance to.
Another game I played one time is Not Alone, which is sort of
Yeah.
like a hide and seek game with an alien. So you're trying to go to different locations and stuff, and it's kind of a one versus all, and the alien is trying to guess where people went to and stuff. It's just really interesting and kind of beautifully small, but can accommodate a lot of players in an interesting way. So Not Alone is a game that I would recommend you try.
Yeah. So those are just some games
Y'all,
from
there are
2016.
more out
There are
there.
way
That's
more.
as much as we
It's like
can handle.
Islebound and all
It's
these
a bunch
other,
of like exit games. It's just a lot, y'all.
This year was nuts. This year, I think, was the best year of the decade. We'll get into 2017, 2018 in the next videos. But, like, for my money, this was probably the worst year in terms of having to choose stuff.
It was tough.
It was rough. Great year for gaming. I mean, really, really great year. What were some of your favorites of the year? Which ones did we miss? Which ones did we nail on the head? All of them, obviously. But nonetheless, put it down in the comments below your favorite games from 2016, and then go back and watch the other years if you haven't already, and watch our top 10 games of the decade as well, even though we kind of spoiled it a little bit in this one.
Only a couple.
But nonetheless, thank you so much for being here. That's our kind of picks of games we want to talk about from 2016.
That's the rewind of 2016. We will see you in 2017, folks. And until next time, have a good day.